In this video we're going to be talking about what I think are the best running shoes of the year. What is up everybody and welcome to Fordy Runs. Now my name is Chris Ford and I'm a running coach based here in the UK, but I do love talking about running shoes. Now if you've followed this YouTube channel or subscribed to this YouTube channel, you'll know that pretty well. Okay, right, so best running shoes, my favourite running shoes of the year. I wanted to put together all the videos that we've done and sort of bookend them at the end of the year to give you an overview of my favourite running shoes of the year. Now we've put these videos out in various video form over the year. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Probably should script these videos. But anyway, we're putting together those videos. So I wanted to condense all the videos, the sort of best ofs, put them all into one so you've got like a good place to sort of reference if you're looking for a new shoe. So get a cup of tea, get a pen and a piece of paper because we are going to be talking about, like I said, my favourite running shoes of the year. So we've got like the best running shoe, best stability shoe, best, I don't know, race day shoe. We've got them all here in this video today. Okay guys, right, so here we go. Let's get stuck in. Now before you do anything else, let me know in the comments, what is your go-to marathon training shoe? Now I'm guessing most of you are going to say the Super Blast. I'll just put that out there. Now I've kind of been stuck with this one because I've tried this year in these best of videos to stick to shoes that have come out in 2023. So I'm going to try and be good, right? I'm going to try and stick to two shoes that have come out in 2023. Now the first shoe is the Convara Pro. Now I think this is very much a misunderstood shoe. This should have been called something else, I appreciate that, but it works really, really well in marathon training. Now you've got two layers of foam in here. You've got the PB foam and you've got the Power Run foam in here. You've got like the speed roll technology. You've got a cheeky little 3/4 plate in it. You've got max stack in the shoe and it works really, really well. It fits true to size and it's just effortless for marathon training. Now the other shoe for me that I've been wearing this year, 2023, was the SC Trainer 2. Now if you've been living under a rock, I did the New York Marathon with New Balance, so I got sent these. And it wouldn't have been a shoe that I would have gone out and bought, but because the guy sent it to me, I wore it in marathon training, and you know what? It was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. The reduced stack height in the shoe with the fuel cell, the new fuel cell, and it worked really, really well for me. I love the upper and the overall fit of the shoe. Now you've got to bear in mind that for me I use a 10 in these shoes, not a 9.5, but other than the sizing, this shoe has been an absolute joy. Now both these shoes for marathon training are brilliant and you can take both of these shoes into race day, and that's the thing with this category. But you know what, I just can't leave it alone. I've got to say, the best marathon training shoe is this. The Super Blast is still the best marathon training shoe. Now I know this came out last year and I'm breaking my own rules, people, but if you can buy one shoe for marathon training, right, you buy the Super Blast. It is without doubt the best running shoe for marathon training I think I've ever worn. It's just effortless. You can do goal pace in this, easy pace in it. You can go short, long, fast. You can do everything in this, including the race. This is the best marathon training shoe, if not probably one of the best running shoes you can buy, people. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. So there we go. Look, the other two shoes are brilliant, right? They are very, very good and they will suit certain people, but the Super Blast just annihilates everybody. Right, agree, disagree? I'm guessing you agree with the Super Blast, but let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree. Now this everyday shoe category, sector, segment, whatever you want to call it, is sort of one I made up. But what I mean by that is a shoe that you can live in, do everything in and run in. I want you to go to Tesco's in it. I want you to go to park run in it. I want you to go and do 3 miles easy. I want you to go and do like a 40-minute run at lunchtime. Whatever it is, I want that shoe to be living with you, breathing with you, part of the family. And it needs to do all of those sort of things really, really well, but just not get in your way. And there's two shoes that have stood out for me this year, and one of them is going to surprise you. And that surprise shoe is this, the Torin 7. Yes, it's an ultra shoe. You're going to think, has he gone nuts? No, I've not. Zero drop, okay, whatever, right? That's not for everybody, and you need to transition into it. But this shoe has been brilliant. It's got the Ego Max foam on it. It's got the natural foot placement in it, so it's nice and wide, and it's just comfortable to be in. But it's just a fantastic shoe to stick on and do all those things that I mentioned. Go to the shops, pick the kids up, 3 miles, thanks very much. It's brilliant. The Torin 7 is a brilliant underrated running shoe. But the winner, yes, you guessed it because I did a video about it, is the Skechers Go Ride 11. Now I actually ran a marathon in these. That's how nuts it is. Yeah, I ran the Berlin Marathon, 4 hours and 11 minutes in the Go Ride 11. It was the black pair, but they're absolutely ruined now. But yes, this shoe, the Go Ride 11, for me, is the best, without any doubt, everyday shoe. You can do everything in this shoe. It's phenomenal. The outsole's phenomenal. The comfort of it is phenomenal because it's a Skechers. It fits brilliantly. It's not over the tops in terms of price wise. And yes, you can buy it in the UK before you have a go at me in the comments. This is the best everyday shoe that I have. This is the shoe that I slip on, like I said, to do all those jobs and then go and run for 30 minutes. So there we go, people. 2 shoes that I think worth considering if you're, you know, just doing a bit of everything, yeah? You're just loving life and you just want to do a bit of running in. These are 2 shoes to consider. Now the marathon shoe's a funny old thing because actually this year there's not been one shoe for me that's come out that sort of stood out, and that's why I'm breaking all the rules in terms of the picks, because how we've been doing these videos is picking the shoes that have come out in 2023 as the sort of favourites. But the shoe I'm going to pick is these, the Adidas Pro 3. Now most of you probably guessed that I was going to pick this. This is the best for me marathon shoe you can buy. Now the Pro 4 apparently got delayed and that will come out when it comes out, but at the moment, as I sit here now, there is not one running shoe that I'd rather wear. If you said to me, 40 tomorrow, you've got to go and run 26.2 miles. This is the best marathon shoe for me. The Light Strike Pro in this shoe just works wonders. You can carry speed effortlessly. Now I ran a PB in London in these shoes in 2023. I think I ran 3:40, 3:39, something like that. But it was just the fact that I could carry that speed all the way to the finish. My legs didn't feel tired, but I didn't feel like I was on stilts like in the Alpha Fly. The energy rods were working well. The upper was, you know, doing the job that I'd expect from it. It was a wet day in London and I didn't have any issues in terms of like rubbing blisters or anything like that. It performed just brilliantly. And that's why, like I said, I'm breaking my own rules because this is the best marathon shoe you can buy. I don't know what they're going to do with 4. Who knows, right? They might take some of the technology from that Evo 1 or whatever. But right now, if you have to buy a shoe to run a spring marathon, buy this, people. The Adidas Pro 3 is without doubt, for me, the best marathon shoe still out there. Now the half marathon for me this year has not been a focus. I still pushed out a PB. I ran a 1:35 and change at the London Landmarks half. I managed to delete that off of Strava, which is kind of awesome. But I ran a pretty quick time for me at the London Landmarks half. So my half marathon times have been pretty consistent between sort of 1:35, 1:45, and I've been running those half marathons in these 2 shoes. Now the Vaporfly 3 for me has been a great shoe in the half marathon. It doesn't feel as fast as the Rocket X2, but I think it's definitely a shoe if you're looking to run a faster half. It's a shoe to consider. The Zoom X works really well with the carbon plate. I think it's a much needed upgrade versus Vaporfly 2 in terms of stability. This is a much more stable ride than the previous version, which for me works wonders. But the quickest shoes out of these 2 is the Rocket X. Now I've run a 5k PB, I've run a half marathon PB, although I run a 10k PB in these, but I've run a couple of PBs in the Rocket X2. And for me it just feels quicker, and it feels a shoe that I can run over the half marathon distance pretty quick, and that's why it's my top pick for the half marathon. If you're looking for a half marathon shoe even into 2024, I think the Rocket X2 is up there with the best. So look, there's 2 shoes to consider. I would push you towards the Rocket X2, but that might not suit you, so then you go for the Vaporfly 3. Both of these shoes are seriously fast, people, and if you're looking for a quick shoe over the half marathon distance, these 2 are the best. Okay, so tempo shoes. Now that's a shoe that I want to be able to use for those faster workouts, some of those speedier sessions, maybe even use them for a little cheeky interval as well. You know, it's not a tempo shoe, but you know what I mean. It's that fast shoe in your rotation and you pull out to do that speed work. Now there's been a few shoes this year that I've tried, but there's one sort of standout shoe. Now in these videos I've been trying to pick like 1 or 2 shoes, but really for me there's been one standout shoe in terms of the tempo shoe this year, and that's these. The Brooks Hyperion. Now the Brooks Hyperion was called the Hyperion Tempo, but it's gone through a sort of remake and it's now called the Hyperion. And it's basically the same shoe sort of from here down in terms of the midsole, the compound and all that sort of stuff. But the upper's been reworked, and by the way, I think it looks awesome in this colourway. I do love this banging green colour. But this is a back to basics tempo running shoe, right? This is not carbon platedness. This hasn't got energy rods in it. This hasn't got anything like, I don't know, crazy that's gone in here. This is just a lightweight, low slung, fast feeling training shoe that you can do those faster efforts in. And I wanted to give the simplicity of this shoe a shout out, and that's why it's my top tempo shoe of the year. If you're doing like, I don't know, 30 to 60 minutes as a tempo run, if you're doing some form of, I don't know, fartlek session, or you're doing a club session, maybe you go rock up to a track and you're going to put a session down. How many times have I said session? But workouts, let's use the word workouts. But it's a great workout shoe, people, and again, it's back to basics, and you can pick up the previous version of the shoe really cheap. Like, I think on Start Fitness it's like 70 quid, but I really enjoy this shoe. It is a great shoe to have in your rotation. Now, I appreciate not everyone can afford to have, 3 or 4 shoes, but if you can afford a tempo shoe, a faster workout shoe, then I think this is definitely one to consider. Now, let me know in the comments, did you go for the Hyperion Tempo or the Hyperion? How have you found it? What do you think about this shoe? Now, again, this is not some carbon plate wizardry going on here. This is a back to basics, low slung tempo shoe. Yeah, it's going to do the basics very, very well. You've got great turnover in this shoe because of the lightness, because of the midsole. It's firm, but it's fast, and that's what you want. And that's why I picked it. I think it looks awesome. It fits great. It's not over the top in terms of price. The weight's perfect. The outsole's good on it. It just does everything as a whole package. So look, let me know in the comments, do you agree, disagree? What's your workout shoe? Is it like a Takumi Sen 8 or 9, or I don't know, what else do you do those sort of faster stuff in? Do you pick up an old race day shoe and drop that in? Do you use like a Vaporfly 2 maybe you bought a couple of years ago? What do you use for those tempo workouts? But for me, the standout shoe 2023 is the Hyperion. I think they've done a cracking job. I've got to give a shout out to the Hyperion GTS as well, because Brooks put out a stability version of that shoe, which I think is awesome, because there's not many like stability shoes out there for faster workouts. So the Hyperion GTS is definitely a shoe to check out if you're after a fast workout shoe that you need a little bit of stability. So there we go, people. That's my top pick of the year in terms of tempo shoe. Thanks very much. But no, I do like a good trail run, although it's not my sort of bread and butter. But I do like a good trail shoe. I like a trail shoe that makes me feel awesome. And I'm going to give you 2 trail shoes today that make me feel awesome. Now, there's been some really good updates in terms of trail shoes this year. I'd be keen to know from you in the comments, what is your best trail shoe of the year? I think there's been some really, really good shoes. Recently, I've really enjoyed the Agility Peak 5 from the guys at Merrell, which is not a brand that I've really ever tried before. I've really enjoyed that. There's some shoes from Saucony, there's the Trabuco Max. There's some really good trail shoes out there. But for me, there's sort of 2 standout shoes this year. Now, the first shoe is the Catamount, and the very dirty Catamount 2. Now, you will notice a theme with my picks, by the way, and that's speed. But the Catamount 2, and again, apologies I've not cleaned these, is a fast trail shoe. It's a fantastic update to the previous shoes. You've got the Skyvolt in here, you've got this, what is it, DNA Flash, I think, midsole, whatever it is. But it's just a very quick trail shoe, or mile trail shoe, actually. I lick along the canal towpaths in these things. I go up the fields and into the forest and just buzz about when I've got time. And that's why it's one of my favourites of the year. It's a no-nonsense, quick trail to road or road to trail shoe that I just really enjoy having fun in. And that's the thing for me. Trail shoes have got to be fun. They've got to be awesome. And the Catamount 2 is that. But the winner for me are these, the Fuji Speed 2. Oh my days. This thing is awesome. It's got Flight Foam Blast Plus in it. We've got a carbon plate in it. And it just feels fast, people. It's light and fast. The lugs aren't particularly deep, but it just feels rapid when you're out there. Now, I do the woods and the forest and things like that. So a lot of it's like compacted paths. We go a little bit into the woods and over the roots and things like that. But it's not anything like hardcore. And I think that's why this shoe feels so great. It just, you can bob and weave and just really have some fun with the Flight Foam Blast Plus. You can lean on the plate. It just feels light. It feels quick. And it just makes you feel awesome. And that's why I love the shoe. And that's why I'm recommending it to you. And that's why I'm picking it as my best trail shoe of the year. I really want you to check it out, people. It's not, I say, probably a shoe that maybe you maybe go to your Speed Goats and those sort of shoes, but Honestly, this is a lot of fun. It is a shoe that puts a big smile on your face, and I think that's what I would want always from a trail shoe. So there we go. I don't know if any of that came out right, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say. I look for a trail shoe that makes me feel awesome. This bad boy does. The Catamount 2 does as well. It's got to be a shoe that makes it fun and makes it, yeah, just amazing when you're up there mucking about in the trails. So there we go, people. There we go. Pick that one up. The Fuji Speed 2 is my best trail shoe of the year. Let me know in the comments, like I said, what's your go-to trail shoe of the year? What's your best pick? What shoe have you found really works for you on the trails? And I'll jump in there once this video drops. Okay, there's two standout shoes for me this year, and they're two shoes that I've run PBs in. Now, the first shoe for me is the Vaporfly 3, which I ran a 10k PB of around 42 minutes, I think it was. Now, I probably should have gone faster because I was waiting around for the old boy Hayden, but this is a quick shoe for me over the 10k distance, and I really enjoyed running in it. I've also run a relatively fast half in it as well, and I've had a lot of fun in this shoe, but it's not a shoe that I would say is gives me the confidence to run a marathon in it, okay? That said, it's definitely an improvement over Vaporfly 2 in terms of running the marathon. It's much more stable for me, but this is a shoe that I've had a lot of fun in, and I've done a few races in it, and I've crushed a few PBs in it, and it's a great shoe for those race days. But it's not something I would train in or anything like that. This is purely a race day shoe. It's got the Zoom X in it, and it's just, yeah, the updated version for me works really well, mainly because it's a little bit more stable. And by the way, I think this colourway is banging. But the best race day shoe of the year for me is the Hoka Rocket X2. Now, I ran a 1:35 something half marathon, the London Landmarks half, which I actually managed to delete off of Strava. What an idiot. But anyway, it doesn't matter because I don't really care. But I ran, let's say, well, 1:35 half in these. I've also done a 5k PB in this. I went 1940 something or other in the 5k as well. This is just a fast shoe. This shoe really works for me, and that's why it's the sort of best non-marathon race day shoe for me. I would not wear these in a marathon. I would get chewed up and spat out after 13 miles. This is a very fast shoe, but it's just almost too fast for me to wear in the marathon. I just love the feeling of speed that you get off the new foam. You get the carbon plate in it, the full length carbon plate. It just feels lightweight, it just feels quick, it feels sticky as well underfoot from this outsole. It just feels like the perfect race day shoe. And if you said to me, Fordy, you got to go and try and beat that half marathon PB that you've deleted on Strava, I would run these. So this is without doubt the best sort of race day shoe of the year for me. It is phenomenal, people, and I wish I'd done more in it this year. I've been very blessed to be able to do different stuff in different shoes, but if I could run more in this, I would. So there we go, people. That's my top pick. That's my best non-marathon race day shoe of the year. I do think the Vaporfly 3 is worth a shout out, but the Rocket X2 kicks butt in 2023. Now, I wanted to talk about stability shoes because if you didn't know, sometimes I do run in a mild stability shoe. Now, I'm not an over-pronator, or I'm not one of these guys who needs like something really strong, but I do sort of lazy pronate. I've said it a million times on this channel, and I do use in my week of rotation a stability shoe. But I tend to go for a mild stability shoe. So the shoes I'm going to talk about today are mild stability shoes, okay? So let's make that absolutely clear at the front end. Now, there's been two absolute corkers this year, and I'm going to tell you both of them in just a sec. Now, before we do that, let me know in the comments, what's your best stability shoe that you're running? Maybe you are one of those people who need a max stability shoe. Let me know in the comments what that is. Okay, so in second place, we've got the Puma Forever Run. Now, this is a fantastic mild guidance shoe. Got the nitro foam in it. We've got Puma grip, which we know is king. You've got a great upper on the shoe, and it just feels fantastic. You've got this run guide system in here, right? So we've not got any postings or any of that sort of stuff going on in here. It's a very subtle guidance shoe. They've got some insoles in here. Look, insole designed and engineered with expertise from the Kaiser Sport Ortho something or other. So they've really thought about even the inside of the shoe to give you that support as well. But this is just a great shoe. If you need some mild stability and you look for just a daily train or shoe and go a little bit longer, this is a great option. But here's the thing, this shoe was going to actually win, but recently I was sent these. The Asics GT 2012. Oh my God, this is such a good shoe. If you have mild stability needs, this is the shoe to buy. It's got the 3D guidance system, so again they've stripped out all the postings and trussing systems and all that sort of stuff. They've gone Flight Foam Blast Plus in the shoe, and they've really thought about how it works. There's some different compounds inside it, and I won't go into all that in this video because these are meant to be short, these videos. But this is the best mile guidance shoe in here. It just irons out any issues you may have. It's a brilliant daily trainer. You've got the AHA rubber outsole. It fits true to size. It picks up well because of the Flight Foam Blast Plus. It does everything you'd expect from a good daily trainer from ASICS, but it does have that mile guidance system in it. So that's why this is the winner. It's not overly heavy, it's not over the top in terms of price, it's just a really good daily trainer that offers that mile guidance. And that's why it's the winner, people, for me. The GT 2012, this is a really good shoe. I enjoy running in this in the week. It's great fun just to do those 3-4 mile runs at lunchtime, that kind of thing in it. It's a great shoe. And that's it, people. So that's my best stability shoe of the year. I've got to give a shout out to the Hyperion GTS from Brooks. If you're looking for a quicker shoe, if you need some stability, the Hyperion GTS from Brooks that came out this year is a really good shoe for those fast workouts. There's not many shoes about for people who need stability, but the Hyperion GTS definitely needs a shout out as well in this video. Okay, so in this mini series we're doing like the best of, best stability, best daily trainer, all that kind of stuff, but I wanted to do a little bit about the most comfortable running shoe of the year. Now there were two standout running shoes for me this year in terms of comfort, and I'm talking about overall comfort. Those sort of shoes that you can just like plod about in, do loads of different stuff in. Yeah, they're not the fastest thing in the world, but it's all about the comfort, and it's all about the cush, and it's all about that feeling awesome when you're out there plodding along. Now in second place was the Max Road 6. Now before you shoot me down in the comments and say, oh, 40, we can't get them in the UK now, I totally appreciate that, but this is based on my own opinions, right? No one's paying me to make any of these videos, but I wanted to keep it real and let you know the shoes that I felt most comfortable in this year. Now the Max Road 6 is just an insanely comfortable shoe. It really is. I did a 17 mile or 18 mile run in the thing, and it was just an absolute joy. We've got Hyperburst 2.0 in the shoe. We've got like a cheeky little carbon plate, carbon infused plate up the front. We've got the Goodyear rubber outsole. It's got a whopping great big like 40 something mil of stack. It's got a lovely upper on it. It's got a really comfortable sort of almost velour feeling feel to the shoe. It just feels great, and it's so nice to ride in these things. Now this is not light, and I'm not trying to say these things are light, okay? This is just a comfortable shoe that you can just plod about in and love life. But the winner is these, the Nimbus 25. Now who'd have thought at the start of the year that this shoe would come out like it did? Oh my god, they blew the doors off with this. They came out of nowhere with this ASICS, and you've got to give them massive kudos for really tearing up what was a sort of straight line in terms of what they were making with the Nimbus, and then to come out with this, to increase the stack, to give us the Flight Foam Blast Plus pure gel in here, got rid of the other old gel out of it and just changed the upper. Oh my god, you've got to give them credit for it. It's an absolute game changer, this shoe, and they really upped their game. And this is the most comfortable running shoe of the year, without any doubt about it. It's got a AHA Plus on the outsole, it's still going strong, and it's just an absolute joy to shove these on and just plod along, go and do like 3, 4, 15 miles in them. It's just so damn comfortable. And again, it's not the lightest thing in the world, and the price has come down, which is a good thing as well with this shoe. You can pick these up a bit cheaper now. So this is the best and most comfortable shoe. Best and most comfortable? That's not right. It's the most comfortable running shoe of the year. I should probably script these videos, but we don't. We fly by the seat of our pants, people. So yes, this is the most comfortable running shoe of the year for me. The Max Road 6 was not far behind it, but I appreciate this is not readily available for everybody. But this is the most comfortable shoe I've ran in all year. It really is an absolute joy to run in. Now, there's been some incredible shoes this year. There's been some terrible shoes as well, Nike, but there's also been some standout shoes that I wasn't expecting. There's just been so many awesome things that have come out this year. But anyway, I wanted to name the sort of best running shoe that I think has come out in 2023, or I've used in 2023. Let's be a little bit more specific, because there's some shoes that I'm still using that came out sort of, well, end of 2022. You can probably guess which shoe that is. But I wanted to sort of highlight in this video the sort of two that came out this year in 2023 that I think have been the best. So let's put the Super Blast to one side, people, because we all know that's the king. So in sort of second place, I wanted to give this shoe a shout out. The New Balance Propel version 4. Now this shoe came out of nowhere, right? And I was not expecting to like this shoe at all. It is a cheap shoe. I mean, you can pick these up for like £70 at the moment. But it came out of nowhere because they sort of, I don't know, they sort of went back to the drawing board with this shoe. Now we've got fuel cell midsole here, right? We've got a TPU plate in it. It's like a budget Saucony Speed 3. That's how I want you to think. It's got a fantastic upper on it. It's got a great lockdown. It's got enough comfort in it. The outsole's done okay. I wouldn't say it's the best outsole I've seen, but it's done okay. But what this shoe created was a sort of budget Saucony Speed 3, that sort of super trainer that came so fashionable in 2023. This was like a budget version in that sector. It was brilliant. It really is a shoe that I just think it's, even now at the end of the year, at the price at which you can get it, is a shoe that you should put into your rotation. The fuel cell works so well with the TPU plate. It's not as sort of hardcore with the speed roll like you get in the Saucony shoes, but it's a real nice roll through, and the plate does do a good job. It stabilises the ride as well, and it just feels really good and effortless to run in. And it's a great shoe. It really is. And it's a super trainer because of the plate and things like that, but at an affordable price. And that's why I wanted to give it a shout out. I think this is one of the best shoes of 2023. I really wanted to give it props because New Balance came out with this from nowhere, like I said, and they stuck a load of fuel cell in it and a TPU plate, and they gave a shoe to us everyday runners that works really, really well. And if you can't afford £200 on a super trainer, then this will do just fine. But the winner of Best Running Shoe 2023 are these, the Boston 12. Now this shoe, I can't tell you how good this shoe is, and if you've got the Boston 12, I know you'll agree. There's only one thing that ruins this shoe, and that's the upper. It's very coarse. But other than that, I've heard nothing negative from all the people that have bought this shoe and told me that they bought this shoe on the back of my review. I know so many people who have got this shoe. I know Ben ran just a 130, I think it might be 131 half in Valencia, in the Boston 12s. It is a fast shoe, but it's also a shoe you can do everything in. This is one of those super trainers that sort of are slowly replacing the daily trainers out there. We've got the Continental rubber outsole, we've got energy rods going on in here, we've got Light Strike Pro here, people. It fits true to size, and you can pick these up already a little bit cheaper at the end of the year. It is a fantastic shoe to do all your workouts in. If you can only buy one shoe and you can't afford the Super Blast, you buy this. This is without doubt, for me, the best running shoe of 2023. Okay, people, so there's been loads of really good daily trainers this year. I mean, loads, right? They've really upped their game. There's been some terrible ones as well. But actually, there's been some very, very good shoes come out this year. And it's quite hard, actually, to pick, because I think a lot of this obviously comes down to personal preference. But I'm going to give you my best daily trainer, the shoe that I think has really hit the mark for me this year, and it was a bit of a late entry, so that might help you in terms of the clue. But I'm going to give two other shoes a bit of a shout out before I name that best shoe. Now firstly, I done a video early on in the year which was a sort of best of back then, sort of halfway through, and back then I said that Reebok Energy Float Ride 5 was probably the best daily trainer at the time, and I still stick by that. You could pick these up for under £50 at the moment. This newer version, he had a little increase in stack, still got the energy foam, a new torsion system in it, and it's just a very good back to basics daily trainer. If you're someone who's running on a treadmill, catch the 5k, trying to get up to 10k, this can do loads of miles for you. It's got a great carbon rubber outsole, and it will do everything you need and more. So I've got to give this a shout out because of the cost of it. It's so cheap. It's just an absolute no-brainer. Now the next shoe is the Brooks Ghost Max. I've got to give this a shout out because this has been a real surprise this year. I wasn't expecting this. Well, firstly, I wasn't expecting it, but actually I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I have. Now, I know there's the people out there who say about the EVA foam and all this kind of stuff, but as a running shoe, as a daily trainer, it really has taken me by surprise how smooth and how easy to do mileage in this shoe. I got back from the New York City Marathon, I just found myself running in this more than anything else that I was testing. It really is a good back to basics running shoe. I'd buy this over the Ghost every day of the week. It really is a great shoe, people. So don't underestimate the stuff from Brooks, and particularly this Brooks Ghost Max. I think this really is a good running shoe, and I think it ticks a lot of boxes for people out there, and it will appeal to a lot of people. You've obviously got the DNA Loft version 2 in this, increased stack versus the Ghost, great upper, fits true to size, £140. It's 10.95 ounces, 6mm drop versus the normal, 10 or 12 drop in the Ghost, and it's just a fantastic running shoe, people. So I had to give this a shout out in the sort of best of. But my top pick of the year are these, the 1080 version 13. And yes, it was a late edition, but I really like this shoe. For me, it's just a bit softer than the Ghost. It is that sort of daily shoe that can do everything because of the softness in the foam. I feel like I could pick it up a little bit more. Again, this is not being negative about the Ghost at all, the Ghost Max, because I really like that shoe, but this just suits me really well. And I want a daily trainer that I can do everything in. I'm very happy in this shoe doing everything. It doesn't fit true to size. This is a UK 10, but it's just a great shoe from New Balance. They really upped their game with this 1080 version 13, and that's why I named it my best daily trainer of 2023. Right guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you found in there what you was looking for, whether you was looking for the best stability shoe or your sort of marathon shoe for 2024, whatever it is you're looking for. But yes, thank you very much for sticking around to the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave me today, and I'll catch you later.